Welcome to the final episode of the Laurel Creek project. We are so excited to show you guys the reveal of the final product. We have so much detail that went into this house, more detail than probably any other project. So we're really excited to show you.
It's been over 2 years since we've been working on this. It's a real labor of love. Brandon Architects was the architect there in Newport Beach. Lane Myers was the general contractor on this project. And it has been super fun, some crazy things we've had to work around, but the project has ended up just being one of our all-time favorites.
Yeah, better than we could have imagined, honestly.
So we'd love to take you inside and show you around. When we started on this project, this was one of the first things we had to step into and make a lot of changes. The ceiling, which is vaulted to a really centered pitch right now, was not centered to begin with. So when you would stand in the space, the pitch and the ridge line was off with the center point of the floor. So we had to have that all reframed so that we could get it to kind of align. It feels
a big
so
project,
much better now.
Made a huge difference.
It was a really good decision that we did.
And we also have 3 grand chandeliers in here, and had we not changed that, it would have felt very off to do any lighting fixtures because it would have been too close to one side of the room.
I think this space really sets the stage for the home too, because you're going to come in and you're going to see things right off the bat that you're going to feel throughout the rest of the house. For instance, we have the wood with a little bit of texture mixed with marble. We have the crystal chandeliers. We have a little bit of rustic feel with the beams and the ceiling. Our baseboards are giant and tall and massive. And we have some really playful prints on these settees. We love the black and white silk.
Yeah, bringing in that pattern that we kind of brought in all of our fabrics, and then the artwork, you know.
It's almost like a gallery.
It's like a gallery in this space, and it's a longer kind of hallway, and so it's a perfect spot to showcase art. The entry floor is something that we really want to highlight because it took a ton of time and effort to figure this out.
A lot of math.
A lot of math that I did not do, but I think it was one of the most spectacular details that turned out amazing in this house. And you can see we took the walnut flooring, we have it throughout the house in different patterns.
By Bruchette and Bruchette.
Yes, Bruchette and Bruchette, and we love the tile inlaid in between. I mean, they had to do so much work to install this, to get it perfectly flush and to not have any spaces between everything was, I don't even know how they did it, but
it was a whole thing. It took them weeks to set
We're just in charge of the vision, and they probably were like, are you serious? But they did such a great job, and we love the way it looks.
They had to hand cut each marble piece. So
hand cut.
Perfect.
All right, we are standing in the drawing room. This is what you see when you first enter the house, and it is the showstopper.
I was just in Nashville. We're actually doing an install for a different project and took some time to go look at some historic homes. And we were in one mansion walking through, and they were explaining the purpose of a drawing room. And I just loved it so much because we don't have that anymore. A drawing room is just a place where everyone could gather, people could read the paper, they could play games, they could have tea, socialize. So it was kind of like a multi-purpose room that had different spots within the room. And I love that so much because I feel like we're always looking for times to connect without media, without the television, and this is just one of those quiet reflection rooms that we wanted to create. So that was our inspiration for this. I think the next thing that really inspired us was this fabric.
The drapery. This is where the color scheme started from.
This is a Schumacher fabric. It's a fabric that I've actually been dying to use for a little bit. It's just so beautiful, and the colors of it, you can just take a lot of different directions.
There's birds on here, flowers, And our client had this wonderful collection of botanical prints that, you know, we're using throughout the house. We actually already had the fabric picked out for the stripe, everything, and they were perfect. We were like, this is meant to be in this space. It could not have worked more perfectly. And these are kind of a rare gem. So we want to show you these. These were first printed in 1799. These are illustrated by Dr. Robert John Thornton. He was the first person to really combine a botanical print with a background. So they're kind of rare. Our client had these and she's been safeguarding them under her bed for like 20 plus years. And she's never used them, but she knew she wanted to have them somewhere. They just ended up being perfect in the space.
So we've actually used these in this space and throughout the home. You'll see them here and there because there, how many prints was there? I swear there was like 75. There was a ton. And they were all absolutely gorgeous and they all deserved a home. We knew we wanted to do like kind of a gallery wall here above this sofa. So even when we were drawing out the molding details, like we wanted to have it fit perfect. It literally does fit perfect. We went to hang it, we were a little nervous. We're like, oh my gosh, did we cut it too close? We did like kind of this dental molding here, which I feel like kind of just, it's proud enough from the wall that it almost forms like this picture ledge. So it really kind of like sets the stage for these beautiful prints.
I love how close together we ended up framing these. I think sometimes people give too much space between paintings.
You lose impact.
And you totally lose the impact. So the fact that these are really tight set, I think really makes that bold impact when you walk in and see them.
We love all the fabric choices that we ended up in this room because we have a lot of kind of luxurious, tactile, different types of fabric.
Lots of texture.
Yeah, we have this beautiful wool velvet and kind of this pretty green, it's kind of a blue green. We brought in the silk and black and ivory stripe from the foyer. We have some fun botanical prints. We have another cut velvet here. We actually really fell in love with this.
I love this one.
This is another Schumacher print with just the snakes. I don't know, it felt like they belonged in the garden, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a garden room. One of the things we really wanted to incorporate into this room were these beautiful bookcases. We wanted a place like for books. It's a drawing room. But we wanted them to feel recessed. So they were like integrated like into the house, like the architecture of the room, like they are in historic homes. So we actually ended up having some really pretty Cremone hardware and we painted them the same color that we have the walls and the ceiling and all the moldings.
And you can see the ceiling detail comes down and meets kind of where the bookcases start and the hutches. And I think that makes it feel like it's part of the architecture and part of the build, which is what we were going for.
The color of the walls is Benjamin Moore Gray Wisp.
It's so pretty in person.
It's one of our most favorite colors now, and it's not really gray. It's kind of this like beautiful, muted, soft blue-green, green-blue.
Yeah, when you hear the name of the paint, you're like,
it's really
great.
misleading.
It's really not. It has such a pretty blue-green undertone, and it is just really beautiful in this space, and we love that it brought in color, but it's not the brightest color in the room. You see the fabrics, you see the textures. The fireplace is also a big, important piece of this room. We used this beautiful marble, and again, I mean, the detail here on the craftsmanship, you can see how many layers and detail, how much went into this to line up all of the slab lines. I mean, and this feels very historical as well. I think this is something that you would have seen back in that time period.
We topped it off with a mirror that feels kind of that same way.
Same style, and you know, our same open box inset hearth. I think that's really something that's a special detail. We also have a beautiful brass inlay in this wood floor, and I think that's one of the prettiest details in this house. And we picked just a few key areas to have it, but this was one that we knew we wanted to have it in because you see so much of the exposed wood, and you see it when you walk in the front door.
We are now going to take you in to the primary suite, which is very grand entrance.
Come on in.
This is a vestibule that leads you into the bedroom and the bathroom. And we wanted this space to obviously be very grand, but also we didn't want to leave it too bare. Clearly you can see you just have this gorgeous view at this massive window. We have this beautiful antique console that we found and we had brought over from Europe. And here's a great example, of how we did a pattern in the hardwood floor. And even beyond the pattern, we have this beautiful brass inlay that's repeated from our living room.
We also brought in a wall covering here because we wanted to add some interest to the space without adding a bunch of furniture pieces or a ton of art. I think it plays off the rest of the primary suite really well.
It's just kind of this faux wall paneling. It's a Cole & Sons wallpaper, and it was like the perfect shade.
Yeah, the color was spot on for us.
It's perfect. That ties into the bedroom, which we'll walk into. So you've got beautiful double doors that lead you into the primary bedroom suite.
So this is another, I think, example where we did use a lot of pattern, a lot of texture, but it still feels very serene and very peaceful and neutral, but you still have so much interest. And honestly, the main thing is the wallpaper.
Yes, this wallpaper is to die for. This is a Degournay, which comes from Paris, France. And these are hand-painted panels. Everything on here is hand-painted. And the background is this really beautiful, like silver
metallic leaf. Yeah.
And the detail is just absolutely stunning and incredible when you get up close and you can see every little tiny, like
brush stroke,
the wings and the feathers and the eyes and the petals. They're truly a work of art.
Yeah, it's having art pieces done in this paneling, and we designed the paneling for the wall coverings. We knew that was gonna be the feature in this space, and we knew that was gonna be like the main event. So we didn't want the furniture and the fabrics and everything to compete too much with that. That was really gonna be,
this is our art. This is our art in this room.
Yeah.
We have so much art in this whole house, not in this room. Yeah. This is the art.
Yeah, it is.
And then over here, you just have like this really lovely sitting area.
Yeah, we wanted it to feel cozy. They have this beautiful fireplace here. Again, kind of that masonry type feel. It's on the ground level, the inset hearth, and we just love this simple detail over here, but have a nice cozy space to sit down.
It almost kind of feels like if you were in a 5-star hotel suite. You could literally just be in this room.
Yeah, like have everything you need
for hours and just be totally comfortable.
I could for sure.
And you have these big doors again here that open out onto the yard and the pool area. So it just has beautiful views year round and access in the summertime to the outside.
All right, we're gonna take you guys into the primary bathroom off of the primary suite. So we're gonna head through these double doors,
cross through the vestibule,
through this beauty, into this beauty. Come on in. This is a nice sized bathroom. We have the best layout in here. Imagine this whole vanity to yourself. We have his and hers.
It's large enough you can have a full-size shade lounge.
We wanted this to be really luxurious feeling. We took a lot of those same colors that are in the primary bedroom and brought them in here. You'll see that in kind of these fabrics.
Just this really, really soft water blue.
Yeah.
Color.
And a lot of the gold accents, like with this gold tub, that's just unbelievable.
The client had already selected this.
Yeah, she did.
Which, maybe that's the reason we knew we should work with them.
Yeah.
Because this is pretty glam. We added this, unbelievable crystal chandelier above it.
It's kind of a wow moment.
It's a wow moment. It's a little bit oversized, but it way works. We kind of really wanted that. And we have some beautiful sheer draperies in this window too to just kind of soften the space.
I would say this is just one of the most luxurious bathrooms we've done. There's so many details. Something that we have been doing a lot lately that I think is really awesome is this warming drawer for towels. So you have a hot towel when you get out of the shower. It's just, I love that you can't even tell it's there, but you have that luxury. It's beautiful.
We also had such big vanities. We had so much space for these vanities that we wanted to have an actual makeup space here, but we didn't want to drop it down to a lower height, so we kept it at counter height and we just have a counter stool here for this.
Something else that I think we love about this was the paneling behind the vanity with the mirrors incorporated in. So it kind of makes it feel like all one piece. And because this is so large, it's kind of nice to break up the mirror into 3 sections rather than having one ginormous mirror here.
Primary closet.
We like this. So Obviously, if you're a fashionista, you're gonna be really into this closet, as we are.
Yeah.
She has a
unbelievable wardrobe.
Unbelievable wardrobe and collection, and it's styled so pretty. The cabinetry, the lighting really highlights all of her pieces.
But we also did kind of a fun carpet in here too.
Oh yeah, we love the carpet.
Like this carpet has a beautiful pattern to it, and it's also super, super soft underfoot. I really do love having a carpet in a closet. I don't love taking a tile in there. It's just not the same feeling.
The other thing is we brought the same slab in here that we have used throughout the house that we had, 13 slabs to work with, but it's very seamless from the rest of the house, and I think it works honestly perfectly in the colors.
It brings cohesion. All right, we really have kind of an issue with ugly coat closets. So this was our creative solution to have a beautiful coat closet. It's also kind of a vestibule into the powder bathroom, which I do like because I think it creates a little bit more privacy for the powder bathroom as well, which is nice for guests.
Yeah.
But what we did, instead of doing just a traditional closet, is we did these really pretty built-ins on either side of the hallway. So it literally looks like it's just wall paneling. And then we have this cool hardware. They open up for coat storage for your guests, additional storage up top. We did some trim work around them on the columns, so it just makes it look like it's this really pretty paneling. And then it also leads you to the powder bathroom, where
such a good powder bath.
We have this beautiful, beautiful tile. The client had already purchased this tile when we got involved, but it was originally called out in a different layout.
Yeah, it was originally called out for this wall, and we really didn't want to cut up this beautiful tile with a window, and we knew we wanted it to be the feature. So we had it kind of redesigned because this is a custom mosaic, and they actually map out the whole design beforehand for you to, sign off on. So we had them switch it, and we placed it like where the birds go so that you can see them, and we made sure that it worked with where we had the mirror. So it was a lot of detail, but this is like definitely a showstopper in here, which it's the powder for your guests. You want that to be the space for that.
We paired it with this freestanding vanity that's up on the brass bottom so that it was see-through, so that we didn't want to block very much of this mosaic.
Yeah,
so
we wanted to show as much as possible.
Yeah, cover as little as we could. Yeah. And so that was a really pretty way to top that off.
And the smaller mirror. That's why we did a smaller mirror in here. We really needed to keep that.
And this is one of her existing mirrors.
Yeah.
So that
works perfectly.
Perfect. We love to use things that people have already, especially when they have cool stuff.
Yeah.
As we exit the coat closet powder room area, we're gonna walk into the grand staircase. And I want you to notice that we also did the same molding detail in this threshold entry. It's kind of this square arch entry that we did kind of in the coat closet. So we're kind of continuing that theme. We repeat it a little bit too on these two sections here. This goes to the larger office and the laundry mudroom. This goes to the great room, kitchen, Butlers Pantry area. We wanted those to be like really pretty, like pronounced entrances into those spaces.
Substantial, lots of detail.
And this is kind of like a crossroads area of the home. So you could be coming from the front door and the entryway up the stairs, downstairs, into the kitchen, or back to the garage. So we actually wanted to treat it almost as kind of like a roundabout situation. We decided to do this really beautiful center table. It's a gorgeous marble that has kind of this gray and kind of rose colored veining running throughout. Some beautiful pieces on the top. Gorgeous art. Again, she has amazing art. But it kind of acts as a roundabout, so it softens this crossroads area.
And I think something I love about this is this giant piece on top. It might seem like you're going too big when you're gonna accessorize something like this, but honestly, having the height and the size of this is really what matches the scale, because this is very tall in here, it's very big, but obviously the table has to be the right size for the roundabout, so this really kind of balances out with that, and I think
if you didn't have that, it wouldn't feel right.
It would not
feel
feel
right.
right.
Impact, for sure.
Would not, yeah. So that's an important piece.
And up above here, this goes really, really tall, and we have a chandelier piece that is our clients that they brought from their other home.
They hand-packed each crystal to bring it here.
Wrapped it individually.
Each individual crystal, and how many crystals did we decide?
I don't know.
It was
took forever.
hundreds. I don't know, but it's
But
unbelievable.
this area frames it perfectly, and it lights it up. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it's meant to be in this house. All right, we're headed into the kitchen, the heart of the home.
Oh my gosh,
and
we love this
the
kitchen.
showstopper. We love this kitchen. This wall is probably our favorite. This is made by a company called Officine, and they do amazing stuff. It's out of Italy.
Out of Florence, Italy.
We had it shipped here, all custom made. It has so many cool details. So you have the two end columns that look similar. This is actually fridge and freezer, but this one is a cabinet, and it's beautiful. So you get that symmetry, but you have a nice
appliance storage. It
storage.
has electrical inside. It's with lights. It's super functional.
You gotta see all of the inserts they do. This is the spice
Look at
drawer.
this. Look at this beautiful wood.
It is so
insert.
beautiful.
So pretty. Every detail.
And then over here we have the butcher block knife insert, which is beautiful. It makes for a really beautiful kitchen, not only on the outside, but every time you open a drawer, it's just unbelievable.
We didn't want to ruin this beautiful countertop. And look at this brass backsplash with outlets. So we have these pop-up outlets, which keep it clean.
Yes.
And we don't have this ugly electrical outlet on top of our gorgeous Cristallo quartzite countertop. We also have this island, which is, oh my gosh, it's like 12 feet long, I think, might be 14, that's covered in the Cristallo quartzite as well. We did integrated sink here. The plumbing fixtures are also from Officine, and then our other sink over by the window wall has a custom sink from Officine too.
Yeah.
So the brass, this aged brass matches like perfectly.
And we wanted to keep the island a little bit different and a little bit softer. This metal, all of this brass, we wanted this to be like the showpiece. So we decided to go with wood on the island, and I think it's nice to tie in kind of the other wood features in the house. So the other two parts of the kitchen we kept in that and just kept this as the Officine like showpiece. So we have these custom light fixtures from Urban Electric. We were able to pick the exact finishes. We did a two-tone finish, so we have the brass, but then we have a darker kind of bronze to contrast. I think they turned out really pretty.
A little softness. And then over the window, we also did some custom hanging pendants from Urban Electric with custom shades. We had this cute little gingham.
The cutest fabric.
I love it. It's so fun. And it just filled that space. It was kind of felt a little bit empty before we added those.
And we have this fabric in another place, so we kind of wanted to tie it in. So
this beautiful faucet is also from Officine. You turn it on, you have the mixer here, but look at this detail. It's absolutely gorgeous. And it's just so well made, so well crafted, and it just adds just that extra level to this kitchen. When we started thinking about this kitchen, we knew we needed something amazing. It's a really big space. We wanted something that was just a showstopper. And someone else from our firm had gone to New York and had seen this Officine Gullo showroom in Manhattan. And so we started looking into this company, and we were instantly in love.
Knew that was what we had to do.
Yeah, we showed it to the client. They were like, yes, absolutely. We flew out to LA to meet the client there at their showroom so that we could go through and pick every single finish, every single detail, every single drawer insert.
It was a very like custom experience. They showed us all of the options. We were able to pick this exact creamy white color. We picked the exact brass color we wanted.
And we had to start this process really early because these are made in Florence, Italy. Yeah. So we had, how long did it take us to have this? Like almost a year.
Probably close to a year.
Probably close to a year to have this made, have it get put on a boat, come across the ocean, go through customs, and then we had to have their install team come to Utah and do the install. So it was a big process. It was a little nerve-wracking.
They sent us pictures along the way, which is super exciting to see, like even just one piece when it was finished, we're like, oh, it's gonna be so good.
But
so it's fun.
Like beyond. We love it so much. And like my favorite part honestly has to be the brass backsplash.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
How killer is that? With like all the cool details, we love it.
All right, the dining room here is really centered in between the great room, the kitchen, but it's all one space. And so we wanted to make it feel cohesive. We've taken a lot of the same colors, a lot of the same fabrics actually, kind of intertwined them through the 3 spaces. A lot of pattern play, which I think is really fun. The rug pattern, you know, the chairs are different patterns. We've got the large nail heads, but it doesn't feel busy because we still have very soft colors, very soft fabrics. I think it just feels not heavy, but it's interesting.
You look at the scale of this room, we had to kind of go big with everything. Look at these massive chandeliers by Visual Comfort, and like even our sofa pieces had to be large scale. We were dealing with a lot of volume here, but we didn't want it to be too simplistic or too boring.
The doors on the sides are also huge. You know, that's the views. So you got to make sure what's inside feels like it works with that as well, because I mean, this is just basically almost 360 views. So
this opens up to the pool side. This opens up to the garden side. We chose not to do any window treatments in here.
Yeah.
We went back and forth on this a
lot of times.
But it didn't feel right because the windows are just so beautiful. And also when you have these open, you kind of didn't want to be messing with window treatments back and forth.
Yeah, and we're in a really private space.
Yeah, like privacy is not an issue.
There's no one that's gonna be looking in. You want to see the views, and I think we made the right choice.
Yeah, like we feel good about it. This goes into the great room area. You can see what I'm talking about with the scale, like the size of this massive ottoman.
This ottoman is huge.
It's so huge. It could be a bed. It could be a bed for somebody, but it's awesome and it fits the space so well. It helps kind of anchor everything. There were so many details we put into here, like this pretty trim that we added on the backs of the cushions on the sofa. Just little details like that.
Everything was so calculated.
Yes.
In the detail, like everything you see.
Like we love this foot on this piece. Like how interesting is that? That feels like maybe it's kind of like this antique foot. I even love the texture on this leather. We did a lot of different pillow fabrics. Like a lot of times you'll see, you know, maybe 2 or 3 on the sofa and they kind of, you know, are symmetrical. We opted to go all different. Eclectic.
We wanted to incorporate a lot of different fabrics because we loved so many and our client loves so many, and I think it works really well.
A lot of things have like little applique or needle point.
Yeah, a lot of embroidery.
Yeah, and in some of the bedrooms you'll see we did some really fun little trim details. Just detail was the key to this space for sure. We had these massive spaces on either side of the fireplace that we needed something really like powerful for, but we also didn't want it to be too overwhelming for the space. So we had these 2 pieces of art commissioned, and I think they are so perfect.
We gave them samples of our fabric, color chips, samples, so that they could create something that fit perfectly with this space, and I think they nailed it. If you take a look at the fireplace surround, the slab with the paintings just feels like it was meant to be.
We have to talk about the slab.
Yeah, the
around the fireplace, because we do love this so much. This is a very, very large fireplace. This is a masonry built fireplace, but we were able to sink it down so that it was flush with the floor. So it feels like a really authentic, like European type fireplace.
Yeah.
That's hard to do, but we were able to do it during construction. The client already had purchased, how many of these slabs? 13 of these aqua quartzite slabs. They're gorgeous. Dang it.
Someone's here.
The client had already purchased
13
slabs of this aqua quartzite before we got involved in the project. They are beautiful. We love this material. It's so pretty.
If you don't know, 13 slabs is a lot of material.
Of slabs. So we had to figure out where to use all those slabs.
It actually worked out. I don't think it feels like we had to force it in any space.
No.
It led us kind of in the direction of the design.
And I think we used it was several slabs we had to use to get this detail. But look how beautiful, every little vein matches up to perfection. So this just turned out amazing. And I love that we went with a color for this. I think sometimes people are nervous to commit to a color for something that's as large and as permanent.
Yeah.
But I think it made this room.
Absolutely. And I think it goes back to what we were saying with the fabrics and all of the pattern. It still feels very neutral in here, even though we have a lot of color.
It does. It still feels soft.
Yeah. Even the pillow fabrics, we've used a lot of these, like we were saying, in different areas. So we used this pillow fabric, you'll notice here, but we also upholstered the stools in the Butlers Pantry in the same material.
And something else amazing we're gonna show you.
Yeah, something else is really cool. This pillow fabric here is the same pillow fabric that we have the shades in the kitchen in. So that's fun. And then we have this one, which is the same as the host chairs at the dining table. So you get little pops kind of repeated, but it doesn't feel like you're seeing the same pattern everywhere. Okay, we're gonna take you guys into the Butlers Pantry, one of our favorite spaces.
Remember that fabric we talked about in the great room?
Here it is in all its glory on our favorite piece, this fridge. This is a great story. So this is our best brainstorming session to date, for sure.
Yes.
We had this fridge and we originally picked it in a white finish. And then we went down this path of color drenching this room. We used that stone that we had 13 slabs of.
It's in here everywhere.
It's everywhere, and we decided to run with it and use
even
the paint
the ceilings are in the same color.
And so we had this fridge that was gonna be white, and we felt like it was
no go.
That couldn't be the case.
So have a white fridge and a color drenched
Butlers
Pantry, you guys.
It was gonna stand out in a bad way. So we're brainstorming, we're like, what can we do?
And then we started thinking about the Smeg fridges that are the Dolce & Gabbana.
Yes.
And we're like, that's really fun, but we already have this fridge. And the True fridges are awesome. And they're like a super high end. And so we were already in love with that in the gold hardware. So we just wrapped our Platty Daddy van.
Yes.
For bonds.
So we were like, why can't we wrap the fridge? So I call the wrapping company. I'm like, have you ever wrapped a fridge? They're like, no, but we can try it. And I'm like, let's try it. So we matched our fabric. We gave them
Blends and Morris fabric.
Yes, and they printed this out, and we think it is just so fun. And so you can see here, we put it on the stools as well. So these stools are all upholstered in the same fabric, same material. And that brings us to this island, which I think is so fun because we kind of did a different design here. We wanted to have a big workspace, but we also wanted to incorporate some seating, but it's a little bit narrow this direction. So we ended up opening the ends of the island to have seating, and we wanted a backless stool so that it could tuck all the way under when you're not sitting here, and you can stand here and work, but if you want to pull out a stool and work, you can as well.
The other part about this room that I love so much is the ceiling detail and the lighting. So we just wanted this cool concept here, and these are all individual fixtures. They're by Urban Electric. We did a lot of Urban Electric in this house, but we wanted to have them framed with all this molding. And this actually was kind of a pain to get this to work, to have it all lay out correctly, and work with the sprinkler lines and the cabinetry.
Yeah.
So it was tricky. We got it dialed finally, and it just is it just makes it cool. It makes it so it's not too utilitarian lighting in here. Yeah, and then we did the same color on the ceiling that we talked about, the pigeon color that's on the cabinets that literally matches our quartzite.
Yeah, it's
so perfect. So it's definitely this whole color drenched vibe we've got going on here. We even took, because we had so many slabs, we even took and did the full splash and the shelf and the quartzite.
And you see this pretty detail here. Again, we wanted a lot of thoughtful details on our slab edges. This is one that I think turned out really, really beautiful. And while we're here, we should look at these hinges because they are phenomenal. These are Rocky Mountain hardware. The door handle and the hinges are spectacular. Like they are a work of art.
These are definitely an upgraded hinge. They are heavy duty. They weigh, I don't know, they're like 10 pounds each, but they're so pretty and they just give that extra special little moment.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite details.
We're standing in the grand staircase of this home. It is definitely a wow moment because you have these amazing windows here and it goes 2 levels. So we wanted this to have a lot of personality and feel just really elegant. This railing took a lot of engineering, a lot of time, but we wanted to be able to have kind of this brass feel on the handrail and then to have all the individual spindles be more in like a black, like an iron.
Like an iron, yeah. Yeah,
So,
we wanted it to feel almost that authentic vintage type feel,
Yeah.
I guess.
A little bit
But bring in
French.
the softness, yeah, European softness with the brass. And the carpet is something that kind of softens it as well. We originally had no carpet here. We were just gonna do wood stairs. And then as we looked at it, we're like, no, we have to
It
add
needs
it.
the softness. It helps with
needed something.
acoustics. It helps it not be slippery too. And the pattern just, it sets the stage as you go upstairs because the upstairs is carpeted. Another thing that I love to do in stairways is wall paneling.
Yeah, this wall paneling is amazing. And we had to be very mindful and thoughtful of the pattern and how it laid out because it is so tall and it carries down, but I think it turned out really pretty and it feels so much more interesting than just flat.
It's very
boring
grand.
walls.
It's very grand.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna walk you guys through all of the upstairs bedroom suites. We're in the first one here, and you'll kind of see a similar theme in these bedrooms in that we've got wallpaper in all of them, because we love wallpaper.
Everywhere we can.
A lot of pattern, a lot of color. They all kind of feel like their own, but they still are very cohesive. And one thing we did that I think you'll see carried throughout, as we talked about in the living room, are these botanical prints that our client had. They just actually worked perfectly. We picked all of the fabrics, all of the finishes, everything before you even saw all of these.
They were meant to be.
We could not have done it any more perfectly. Like they found their spots and I think they worked so well.
Yeah, there were so many in this book, so we were able to just put a little bit of them
Throughout
the
each
house.
space.
Yeah, and they just worked perfect. This bed, I love this bed so much.
It's so cool.
It's really fun because it's upholstered just like a traditional headboard, but then it also has this slip cover that goes over the top. It's like optional, but we just love that. It's just fun with the ties. It just gives like this added little personality.
Detail. Yeah. The pillows, you'll see same thing. Like we thought through a lot of detail in each space. These are custom made. They have a different fabric on the ruffle, which is kind of fun. It's a wool plaid, which plays nicely with the floral pattern. We just love the pattern play that we have throughout this space. All of the bedrooms upstairs have these angled, vaulted ceilings, kind of funky. And like I said, we did wallpaper in all of them. So that was something we had to be thoughtful about because you really had to do the whole room.
We did the ceilings.
Yeah.
We had to do the ceilings.
We had to, because if you look at these angles, you would have felt it would have felt very short over here to stop it at the top of the wall. And then over here, the wall is very tall and it would feel very, I think, off balance.
Yeah, it just wasn't right.
Luckily our client was on board. We were like, we got to do it all. You can't
Luckily
do
our
a little
installer
bit.
was okay doing paper, being up on scaffolding, because that is scary.
Yeah. This is a Schumacher wallpaper that we got, and it's called Countryside Morning, and we love it. And we picked trim paint that kind of goes with the wall covering in each space. So you'll see that throughout these bedrooms.
And then also, we took that same color into the bathrooms, and I think it helped even tie the bathrooms in a little bit better.
And it's like a fun, unexpected pop in the bathroom that may otherwise feel very, white and neutral. And I think it kind of brings in that cozy charm into the bathroom as well. Another detail I think that is worth calling out is our wallpaper person is amazing, and he covered all of the vents with the wall covering as well. So you don't see a big metal vent or
there's attic access.
An attic access. He covered in the wall covering and you barely even notice it. It's unreal.
Flawless. We're gonna show you the bathroom so you can see the pretty details here. One thing that I really love that we did with every bathroom on this property are the really pretty details for the backsplashes. So instead of just coming up standard, like a 6-inch rectangle, we have a lot of pretty carved out details and also the edges of the countertops. I think those just make a really big difference.
Huge difference. And it also makes it feel more like the style of this home.
And more like furniture.
Exactly. And you'll see on the cabinetry pieces, we designed them to look more like furniture. So they have feet, they have, you know, a cutout on the bottom, detail that makes it feel a little more furniture-like.
Also, I think almost every bathroom is in marble. So it's very timeless, very classic tile that we've used, but we did do some playful things with just in how the patterns of the tile were set and laid.
Yeah, and like we talked about with the color on the trim in here, I think that really helps tie the bedroom space with the bathroom space.
But we do love this beautiful faucet by Waterworks because it has this walnut handle detail. And this is also kind of ties into the cabinetry. And we ended up getting our cabinet hardware from Waterworks too. So it just has this perfect little match to all of the engravings on it. We're gonna go into the next bedroom suite, which is just right adjacent to the previous one.
A little more moody.
We wanted this room to feel more masculine. There's a lot of feminine details and colors in this home, but we did have a few spaces that we wanted to definitely feel more masculine. We kind of call this our Ralph Lauren room.
Yeah.
Even though there's not like a ton of Ralph Lauren pieces in here, but it
Very
has
Ralph
that
Lauren
vibe.
inspired.
Yeah, I think that one thing that everybody just loves about this is this wall covering. This is from Romo, and just with that beautiful kind of navy background and kind of this warm caramel floral on top of it, it's just super warm and cozy.
It actually has a small herringbone pattern in the back, so that's very menswear, very masculine, but it's still a floral, which I think ties in with the rest of the house and helps it to feel like it still goes with the rest of the house. It's not too much of a departure, but it still has its own vibe in here, its own story.
Yeah, we wanted each room to kind of have its own feeling, own story to it for sure. Again, more of our botanical prints that we've talked about from the other spaces in the house.
Yeah.
We love the fabrics that we have on this bed. Again, we have this beautiful herringbone and a wool right here. And then, of course, we did some plaids. We love a plaid moment.
We love a plaid on plaid moment. Like the small print with the large print is something that I think works really well that you might be scared to do, but I actually think it turns out awesome every time. We also have the trim color accent in here as we do in all of the other bedrooms. This actually was like...
It was tricky.
It was tricky. We went through a lot of different paint colors because I think initially you'd think like match one of the colors in the wallpaper and do like a dark tone, but we didn't want it to feel like it didn't go with the rest of the house and everything, you know, we don't have that dark trim anymore.
Yeah, and this color we kind of have working in other spaces in the house.
Yes.
And I love how that kind of turned out. It kind of has this tonal feel to it.
It does. And in the herringbone in the back of this, you can see just a slight light blue almost color, and I think it pulls it from here as well.
The ensuite bathroom, we just have to talk about for a minute because we love, again, this really cool detail we did for this vanity top. We didn't have a lot of space in here. We didn't have a lot of width. Then we incorporated kind of this additional shelf. So we had to pick a lower faucet so that we could get this space for it. It's just a cool detail. It gives a little bit more functionality to it. It also makes it look so custom and definitely furniture-like.
And this piece you can see kind of ties in with like the nightstands and the finishes we have going in there. So even though we have light tile, you know, white tub, white walls, it still brings in kind of that masculine energy and the darker, moodier vibes. All right, we're gonna take you into guest suite 4. Again, has its own story, its own feel. We love the way this one turned out. It's a little softer, maybe a little bit more feminine. The bed is the showstopper.
Come on, the bed, you guys.
It's Unbelievable. It has this curved headboard. Of course, the upholstery's in plaid. We love that, but it feels lighter. It's not as heavy as the plaids in the other room that's a little more masculine, but you still kind of have that reoccurring theme throughout the house.
I also love the scale of it because again, we have such tall ceilings in here.
Yeah.
So it just feels right. It fills the space.
Yeah. These pillows are so beautiful. We were obsessed with these pillow fabrics, and actually this one was kind of like the starting point of this room. We saw this, our client loved it, we knew we wanted it in here, and you'll see there's a lot of little floral detail throughout this space. The wall covering is a small, delicate floral that I think just turned out so beautiful. It's a rose charlotte wall covering. It has little bits of the blue that kind of tie in throughout.
It feels super vintage, like an old-fashioned paper, and actually when we got it, we were surprised because it is like paper.
Yeah,
I think it was hard to install.
Yeah,
actually,
it was tricky.
Because it really does feel like an old-fashioned paper, which I love that.
Yeah, want to talk about these Roman shades. We love this fabric. It ties in with, again, kind of where we're at. We're outside in this beautiful setting, lots of trees, nature around, and these are just so pretty with the birds and the trees, and it's just so cute.
And we opted to do Roman for most of the bedrooms upstairs, just because we felt like it was prettier because we have this gorgeous trim around them, and
because of the ceiling detail that we talked about. You know, we have these angles. One side of the room is very tall, one side is a little bit shorter, and had we, you know, done a rod across on the short side, I think you would have felt the difference more.
Yeah, it would have felt really short on this side of the room and tall on that side of the room. This room had a particular issue we had to work around. There was no closet in the architectural drawings, and so we needed to kind of get creative with that. So we actually ended up doing a wardrobe piece of furniture to serve as the closet.
This piece is beautiful.
Which is from Hickory Chair, and this turned out perfect. It will give, this is a guest room, it's not an everyday use room. So this just will give some wardrobe space, but it doesn't eat into the room by building out into a closet. We didn't want to eat into this room any further.
Yeah.
So
we still wanted to be able to fit like the chair and have it feel more breathable in here and less, you know, of a heavy piece over here. So, all right, walking into the bathroom here that's tied to this bedroom, we wanted to kind of bring in that same feel, you know, make sure that they talk together and they kind of met up, and I think we did that with this paint color on the cabinet. It's a pretty blue that kind of ties in the blue accents that we have in the bedroom. And again, we did a lot of detail. We have this edge detail that I think really took this countertop to the next level, and then the backsplash detail as well.
we are now going to go into Suite 5, which I think is Laura and I's most favorite. We love it. We love it so much. It's kind of fun too, because before you enter, you have this really pretty settee moment here. And then the suite actually has a door that's a little bit farther out. And then when you come back into the bedroom area, it's quite expansive. And you can see we've got room for a king bed and 2 twins. This room started off as being planned for a bunk room, but we decided, like, we have so much space, and like with the windows and the way the walls and the ceiling is shaped, that wasn't the right thing to do. So we love how this ended up. It's whimsical, it's kind of magical. It could be a spot where you could have like a family with 2 children in it, or it could be like way fun for children.
Yeah.
So it's just definitely a space you could sleep a lot of people in, like a really beautiful style. We are obsessed with these twin beds though. This Starling fabric from Schumacher, and this bed is from Century, but just the details, like this beautiful brass with the oil red bronze, and like you can see like even down like how pretty that is. Just, they're just so special. This room feels so special. I think the first thing you notice in this room though is this amazing wallpaper.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that.
We haven't talked about this wallpaper. It's what started this whole thing, and it's a William & Morris.
Yeah, and as soon as we saw this wallpaper, we knew it was in this room, And we loved, like, with the vaulted ceiling, like, we just could see this room. Like, we had the vision from the beginning. Like, we knew this room.
We've been excited
We
for
knew
this
what it was going to
for a long
be,
time.
and we were like, yes, like, I think it's going to be our favorite, and I think it turned out to be our favorite. We love it.
Just some other fun things we did. We love to mix patterns like we talked about, but again, just adding these little bits of trim. So if we just had like the plain solid yellow velvet, it would have been not right.
Yeah, fine, but not great.
Yeah, but this just takes it to a different level, and it just adds a little bit more feminine touch to it.
And mixing, like, you know, we have a knife edge pillow here with no detail, no trim, and then having the ruffles on this, I think that's just such a pretty combination.
We have a fun chandelier in the middle, which just kind of like draws your eye up to this cool shape of this vaulted ceiling, again, that we completely covered in wallpaper. We wanted every surface in wallpaper.
Every surface. And the sconces over by the twin beds coordinate as well, and they have the cutest little bird detail on them, and we love that. All right, walking into the bathroom that is tied to bedroom 5. So this is the ensuite. The ensuite, and there's so many details in here that we want to show you. So one thing is we did these custom shades on the light fixtures in the same fabric that the twin beds are in. So I think that's really fun. It adds like a pattern in here and ties it in with that bedroom. And we also did a custom color on these fixtures. These are Urban Electric as well. And we got to pick the exact shade. So we tied that in with some of the
kind of
fabrics
that pretty
in
little
there.
raspberry color popping in. We also did, again, a custom shape on this backsplash. So we wanted to bring this up taller because we have these really tall faucets, but we didn't want it to be boring.
Yeah.
So we kind of had this really great shape that we had cut out. It made it a little bit tricky to do our mirrors.
Yeah.
So it took us a minute to find our mirrors, but we actually are obsessed with these because it has like the little birds, just like it does on the sconces in the bedroom.
Yeah, and our client loves that.
Yeah, and she has so many great pieces of art, which we've talked about some.
Mm-hmm.
She literally has like a gallery pretty
Yes.
much that she owns. And so we thought it was just so pretty to add the art in between the mirrors and just kind of tie that back into the rest of the house. We are standing outside of the guest house, and we're gonna go in and give you a little peek at that. This, again, has the really big steel and glass doors that can open all the way up. So in the warmer months, this is going to be like the perfect party place.
It's a little chilly now, but in the summertime, it's gonna be amazing to be able to have these open and have that indoor-outdoor feel.
One thing that we did when we were planning the space is we wanted to incorporate kind of that indoor-outdoor feeling. So we took the tile that was used around the pool area and outside patios, and we brought it into this space, but we did it in a checkerboard.
Yeah, and I think it looks so pretty when you see through to the outside because it's out there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really fun, and you'll see we did it in the bathroom and in a smaller version in the shower, and it's really cute. So we'll get to that and show you. But for now, this is the living space. This is the perfect guest house because you have a small living area, a kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. It's completely ready for a guest to, you know, be able to do anything, have everything, every amenity. So it turned out really nice. We used a lot of different colors here. We wanted kind of, you know, a little bit more of like...
A little more cottagey.
Yeah. It is a little bit more cottagey.
More casual too.
Yeah,
I think it has a little bit more casual feeling to it. But we still wanted to be kind of playful and fun mix of patterns and colors.
Yes. In this space, we had probably like 10 to 15 fabrics. We were like, we have to use these
Yeah, we have
for
to use them
pillows.
all,
So like
every single one.
we made all different pillows in all different fabrics, but we wanted to just have these pops of fun pattern. This one is one of our favorites. It's kind of a quilted.
Look how cute it is.
And it's got like the spades, the hearts. It's just so cute. We love that one. Stripes, florals, plaid, of course. And then we even took the fabric over here on these stools, which I think is a fun pop of color that kind of, you know, brings the colors over here into this kitchen space.
This kitchen space was a little bit tricky because we were trying to fit quite a lot into this, but we also needed like some seating. So we kind of ended up with this concept, which I think works really, really well, where this is like a counter height table that could also serve as an island. So it could be a workspace or it could just be seating, but it didn't take away space from the sitting area.
Yeah. Something else that we haven't even talked about yet, but is a theme throughout the house, is kind of this blue and white pattern. We've got it on a million different things, but we actually have it on these pendants, which we love. Like these were one of our favorite things we found, and when we saw them, we knew they had to go in here. So I think it's so fun to have these on either side. And then playing in with the backsplash as well. I think.
And this tile actually was a really affordable choice because this is a guest house. We didn't want to go like as over top as we've gone in some of the areas. I think it kind of nods to other things we have patterns in the home.
To our other fabrics, like it gives that small print pattern that we kind of have in different fabrics throughout the house. And we actually use this in the bathroom as well, so we'll show you that, but I think it's really cute. We're going into the guest house bedroom. We're gonna start with this beautiful carpet because it is probably my favorite part of this place, and of course it's plaid, so we love it.
But the mix of the plaid with this paisley wall covering from Schumacher is everything to me.
Yes.
I adore it.
I think it's so fun, so unexpected, but it works so well. I think it's something that people get a little bit shy with.
Totally.
And honestly, like we are lucky that we had a client who was like, yes, do it. She saw the vision and it turned out awesome.
It'd be a little scary to mix patterns.
Yeah.
But you think it's gonna be so busy, but it's really not that busy.
You feel like it's gonna be so bold and so crazy, but when you get it in application, I think it turns out really nice and it doesn't feel overwhelming.
And we paired it with this Jenny Lynn style bed. I love a moment for a Jenny Lynn bed.
We love this.
In the black wood, which I think, again, just kind of nods to that kind of cottagey feeling.
And we wanted to have some black accents throughout. We have black hardware in the kitchen. We have, you know, a little bit of black detail.
We have the black and white stripe in the entry and the
Yes.
black and white stripe in the living room. You could almost add black in every room. It's a really great like punch to things.
We have a lot of different fabrics. Again, we couldn't say no.
Yeah,
So we brought
have
in
a fabric problem.
We brought in more just to add like the interest. We loved this bee fabric. We think it's so cute and it's actually like textured. It's really pretty. This applique, this embroidery is really pretty. The plaid, of course, the plaid. And then, you know.
And even like just the fun detail on all of the shams and the bedding. Just it's kind of the hotel bedding, except it has that little bit of color to it. And we have some nightstands that feel a little bit antique.
We're in the guest house, everything is kind of, you know, right by each other. We really wanted to take the same materials and bring them in. So the whole space felt like, it's one, it's cohesive. So, you know, what we said, we brought in the flooring that is outside in, and then we did it in a small cut pattern on the shower floor, which I think turned out so cute.
Yep, on a diagonal.
On a diagonal, the same tile we have on the kitchen backsplash, and the same
marble.
slab, but I think it feels like different in here. It feels, appropriate for a bathroom, but it's
a
cohesive.
small space, so it's like we already have so much fun things going on with pattern and color that we didn't want to go, I don't know, different.
Totally
we wanted
different.
to keep in that vein. I do love this little cabinet.
Yes.
Again, the backsplash detail, and I think this hardware is so fun with kind of that milk glass.
Yeah, kind of vintage feeling, kind of
shades.
cottagey. Oh yeah, we love these. These are also Urban Electric. We used a custom fabric for those. And then again, like this feels more like a furniture piece, a little bit more detailed to it to kind of give that character.
Thanks for joining us on this tour of our Laurel Creek project. We love this home so much.
We love it.
We have put our heart and
It's our
soul
baby.
into this, and we are so thrilled with how it turned out. We're a little bit exhausted. It's been a long day.
Ready to sit on this couch and relax because we have gone through so many details. So we've already told you guys in almost every space that we think it's our favorite space, but actually this is our favorite
actually
space.
it, we think.
We're pretty sure that we landed on this being our favorite room, but we want to know what you guys think. Tell us what your favorite space is. And we have loved this project because it's so different and we got to do so many things that we don't normally do.
Yes, at Bond, that is one thing that we really strive to do.
Yeah.
We don't want to have just one look. Every project's unique to the client. So it's so fun to be able to do all these different styles and different looks. And that's what we love about our job.
That's our favorite part, absolutely. Yeah, we got more projects coming. Like and subscribe if you want to see them, but they're gonna be totally different. So it's fun to see.